Hey everybody, this is my 20-gallon Angelfish tank, and I just got done feeding everybody, and while I was looking in this tank, I noticed my mystery snail is crawling around up in my water Sprite. I've also got some of my bloodfin tetras have been swimming around up through the water Sprite up in the more, well, you can see one right there. He's right at the surface of the water. So I'm really enjoying the combination between the additional fish. I now have 8 of the bloodfin tetras in there. I added several more yesterday. They were in my quarantine tank, but they're now in here. And between them and the mystery snail in there, I've got more activity going on in the sort of upper portions of the tank and the more overgrown portions of the tank than I do down sort of in the tank. The angelfish always just kind of hangs out in there. I don't know why, but the angelfish tends to stay on the right side of the tank, and he tends to kind of keep everybody else on the left side of the tank, and it's not evenly divided. The roots hanging down there to the center right is where the dividing line seems to be. If you'll notice, all those tetras always seem to sort of turn around right there at the roots, and the angelfish will go into the back of the tank, and if anybody comes too far around the backside, he will dash over and chase them back onto the left side of the tank, and the angelfish just kind of hangs out there on the right-hand side by himself. It's sort of an odd way of behaving. I've never seen angelfish that were that sort of territorial before, especially towards other fish that aren't really angelfish, you know? So anyway, the thing I really wanted to get the video of was my snail here. I don't recall, I may have, but I don't ever recall seeing my snail up in the water Sprite like this before. I know it crawls all around on the glass and the woodwork and the rocks and everything. It's a typical snail, but seems odd to me to see a big snail shell like that. It's the size of a golf ball, and it's just up in the water Sprite. It's not, I could see it maybe on the Java fern. That seems almost normal or natural, but it almost seems like it would have had a difficult time even getting up into the water Sprite. How did it get up in there? Did it crawl up the roots? Did it crawl up that piece of woodwork and then jump across? I have seen these mystery snails do some pretty parkour action, leaping and jumping kind of behavior before, but I just can't imagine how it would have done it. Maybe it crawled up the glass and then just got onto the fronds over there and crawled down into the center, and that's where it is. It's been there for the last 15 or 20 minutes and it hasn't moved. Usually when I get over in front of a tank and start talking, they tend to fall to the bottom of the tank, even if they're on the glass or something. So I'm wondering if this one has already retracted its foot and it's just sitting there because it's just sitting on top of the water Sprite at this point. I'm tempted to reach in there and pick it up. In fact, I'm going to, because it's only a mystery snail. It's not like it's going to harm it in any way. Yeah, it was just sitting there. Its foot's completely retracted. I believe these are the same as trapdoor snails. I think these are also sold under the name of trapdoor snails. I'm not positive about that, but I think they are. And if you'll see how sort of shiny that really is a hard layer right there. And as I touch it, you can see that foot's just retracted even a little bit further. So that really is a protective layer right there. And when the snail comes back out, this will sort of fold up and flip out of the way, and then the foot will come out sort of away from it. So again, if that's not a trapdoor snail, I believe that's very similar to how a trapdoor snail operates. But this is my blue mystery snail, and you can see it needs a good scrubbing to get all the algae off of its back. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it down into the tank because I believe that it really was just sitting there retracted and it didn't fall to the bottom like it normally would have. My other one that's in this tank is down there on the bottom, nice and safe and secure. So that one has now sunk. I didn't even notice it sink, but he's down there and all nice and safe and well and good. So I'm definitely enjoying the angelfish tank now that I've cleared out all of the baby water Sprite that was in there. I did that in a video the other day and really opened it up and thinned it out. We've gotten to enjoy the tetras, the bloodfin tetras swimming around in there. And then, of course, with allowing the light to shine down into the tank, it just looks a whole lot better. I'm still on the fence about whether or not I want to raise this light up. It really does open up the way the tank is lit a lot more. You can see in there a lot better. You can see the angelfish a lot better. But I really do kind of like that sort of spotlight effect right down in the middle like that too. Now, this angelfish was purchased as a mixed veil, and I got it from PetSmart for $4.99 or whatever they sell their mixed veils for. But if you notice, it's got what looks very much to be like a pearl scale scaling on it. The pearl scale is actually a physical trait rather than a coloration. It's the physical shape of the scales themselves, and they give it that sort of, in this case, it almost looks like a hammered silver look or a crinkly sort of silvered look. But in the true pearl scales, each scale is like a little concave mirror. It's just a silvery little concave scale, and it gives it almost a disco ball appearance. It gives it a very, very sparkly appearance, as opposed to this one has that sort of crinkled aluminum look. But that is definitely in its scale pattern. It's not, or the scale structure, I should say, not the coloration. Anyway you slice it, it's a good looking angelfish for the money I paid for it. And the lesson there is that if you keep your eyes open and you're patient and you look around, even in the low budget mixed veils at the pet stores, you can still find yourself some pretty exceptional angelfish. My other angelfish that's in my gourami tank, it's an enormous angelfish. It's absolutely stunning. That likewise was a mixed veil from PetSmart that I got for $3 or $4, or again, whatever they sell for. So there you go, everybody. Just a little impromptu update on my angelfish tank. My real goal was to get a look at that snail sitting up in the water Sprite like that, which we did. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss anything I got coming up. You never know what it might be with me. Don't forget, this one, of course, is my 20-gallon angelfish tank. So thanks again. I'll see you real soon in the next one.